You need to stop making these 6 common producer mistakes. And as a producer, you're out on this journey. I like to think of it as a producer journey, a production journey, whatever you want to call it. But along that journey, you're going to make mistakes. So imagine that journey is a straight line and you start at the beginning here. And along this journey, you're gonna make these mistakes, but you can tell where someone is in this journey based on the mistakes they're making. Because these mistakes are gonna be grouped together and we can define these 2 mistakes by a stage. And it's like the stage in your production journey of where you're at. Let's walk through a few of these stages, cover some of the most common mistakes and how to fix them, with the hope that you can learn how to progress on to that next stage in your production journey, the creativity stage. Usually this stage happens early on into your producer journey, like Tempo Class here, who's been producing for 3 months and has only finished 5 beats so far. Bro, I don't have any rhythm, but I couldn't catch that bounce. Now the creativity stage is defined by having cool ideas, but your execution isn't quite there. So for example, you have this really cool piano here, but it looks like you stretched the BPM, so it's not really on time. And this really messes with your rhythm. Now, if you don't know your BPM, you can just auto detect your tempo, or you can just play around with the time knob until it fits. What are you doing with your drum pad? Oh no, I did not realize this. You just started going off beat. So for example, here your drum is just off beat. It's also really common to see these simple and basic drum patterns at this stage. And with your drums, you can add so much bounce just by putting in a few notes that are leading into things, or even just by removing a note or 2 here and there. And another way you can fix those basic drum patterns, kind of play around with the syncopation. Like we would maybe want to cut out here and then bring in the hi-hats here again. Do like a little roll, nothing fancy. Ooh, no. This is a nasty kick, my guy. And at this stage too, you probably haven't built up the greatest repertoire with recognizing what sounds are good and what sounds suck. The arrangement phase. Now, similar to that last phase, the arrangement phase doesn't have the greatest sound selection either. They've got the basics down for what kind of makes a good melody, what kind of makes a backbone for a good beat. But their biggest problem is they have not very good sound selection for their drums, and truthfully, they have no arrangement going on. First thing I'm gonna say, if you know me, I hate Somatic's drum sounds, they suck. And this kick isn't really an exception to that. In fact, none of these drums are, they're kind of doo-doo. The fix for this is just give you better drum sound. The 808's not that bad actually. Why are you boosting your clap? Don't do that, we don't need to do that. But honestly, just picking the right sounds can take your beat from a terrible beat to something way better. But yeah, we want to get more out of your 808. And the way I'm going to get more out of your 808 is just by turning it up. And now your kick and your 808, they're not really working together the greatest, so we can just reverse the polarity on it. But if that doesn't work, you can just find a different note for the kick to play at. I think we could throw in like some cool little rolls here and there, who knows? I don't know what you're doing here, but I don't like it. Now this is the arrangement phase, and the reason I call it the arrangement phase is because you don't do arrangement. You have your single pattern, And then you've got a bunch of drums. First thing I would recommend doing is rendering out your melody, rendering out that one little pattern you have. You can copy it over, make it unique, and then you can pitch this section up or down. Ooh! That sounds hard. And right there, now you have so much more to your beat. You have twice as much melody. With your drums too, you can add a little bit of variation in there too. So maybe you don't want to bring in the kick right away. You could throw in like a little beat cut. And right there, now you actually have the structure to a beat. Honestly, this last stage is my favorite, and that's the overthinking stage. And the reason this is my favorite stage is because your issues are actually really simple. So Aaron here thinks that they have some complex mixing issue going on with their stereo imaging and their 808. Definitely not. You're overthinking it. Your mixing should be so much simpler than that. Let's listen to the beat. Because people in this stage are overthinking so much, they usually have terrible mixes. And your mix, you overthought, I don't know what, but you were doing too much. Everything with your melody is way too loud. And that's your issue. You don't have room for anything else. Think of it as a literal room, a literal amount of space. Now, if you go into this space and you fill it up all with your melody, you got no room for your drums now. And if you try and cram your drums in there, it's just gonna be this cluttered, ugly mess. So first of all, when you're mixing your melody, you wanna remove that low end that's probably gonna be clashing with your 808. And you don't want things to be way too loud. So because of that, the way I like to mix is in relation to my 808. And that just means I'm playing my 808 and I'm mixing the volume of everything else to the 808 volume. Whoa, you don't need to put a fruity limiter on your 808, but if you want to make your 808 sound clean and hard hitting, you can put a fruity soft clipper on there, or just any soft clipper. It doesn't really matter. It's actually crazy what a good mix will do to your beat. If you want to send in your beats for the next beat fix video, I've got all the instructions for you down in the pinned comment. And if you want to watch my last beat fix video, I'll link something to the side here.